Hello, beautiful people. My name is Emma.
And I'm MC.
And we are your hosts of the G Forces podcast. So it has been a minute since we've actually done an episode, probably about 2 months now. That's because we decided to take the month of December off for family to see them during the holidays and just take a mental break. And then January, we needed to take a mental break from the world. And now we have the preseason testing coming up in a couple of weeks, and then the actual season starts in about a month and a half, I'd say.
Yeah. You can tell that things are starting to rampen up. The social media pages are being a little bit more active.
Yeah.
I feel like there hasn't been anything. Like, there was so much drama last season, so there really isn't anything to relate besides the fact that, Lewis and Carlos made their debuts on their teams.
Yeah.
It was very, very media frenzied about. But yeah, it's been an insane 2 months. It feels like the last 2 weeks in the United States of America has been 75 years. But we wanted to, disassociate and bring you guys some content as we promised when we ended last season. This is the first episode of our third season, which is very, very exciting. So yeah.
So today we are going to be going over the rookie drivers and going over like their careers and whatnot. And then we also are going to show we come to find during the holidays, and then actually really over the last couple months we've acquired a lot of F1 random things.
I think
we wanted to do a haul.
Random corner.
Yes.
Random F1 corner.
So we're going to do that right now, actually. So the first thing, let's go in timeline order.
For those that are listening, because this is a podcast, we will tell you and describe everything. For those that are watching, we will obviously show it on camera.
So, yeah, obviously. So the very first thing in timeline order of when it was acquired in our household, Mary Catherine and her husband bought a house, as you know, since our setup is a little different than what it used to be. And you want to tell the story?
Now that we have a house, we can have guests. Yay! We did have guests in the apartment, but not many of our parents wanted to, crash out on a couch. So,
understandable.
Chris's dad and stepmom, George and Nancy, wonderful, amazing people. They always come and visit us, and they, as you guys know, we live in Nashville. Jack Daniels is Tennessee whiskey, and Nashville is in Tennessee. So they went, and they always do very fun little tours. And they went to the Jack Daniels distillery when they were here back in September.
It was beginning of October.
Yeah. And they went and they got us because, as you guys know, Jack Daniels is a sponsor of an F1 team, and specifically McLaren. So they got us special edition Jack Daniels McLaren whiskey. We haven't opened it.
Just disclaimer, we are well above the age of 21.
We are well above the age of 21. Please drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive.
Like it says on the
box.
For
the love of God.
Never drink and drive.
Yeah. They are a Formula 1 team sponsor, but we don't drink and drive.
Yes. But we haven't opened it up because it's just so pretty.
We were going to open it up when they won the Constructors' Championship, but I don't know why we didn't. I think we're just so afraid to open it because it's pretty.
And when we first thought about this episode and what we were going to do, the original plan, so one of the other things that we got a bunch of Lego sets of...
We now have a small grid of
we can
F1
have we have
Lego
an
cars.
army of F1 Lego cars. And so our first thought was, it'd be really funny if we did a podcast episode of us drinking the McLaren Jack Daniels and getting a little tipsy and then trying to build a Lego set. I did dry January, and the thought of actually drinking anything right now repulses me. I think I'm now in a dry lifestyle for I don't know, at least as of right now, I haven't been tempted to drink anything. But the idea of drinking just sounds horrible, especially at 3:30 in the afternoon. That might be slightly problematic if you're drinking at 3:30 in the afternoon. So we're just gonna show this off to you guys. For those that are listening to it as a podcast and that are not watching the video form, it does come in like a pretty black and orange McLaren papaya box, and this is the 2024 edition. It's got it's got like a saying on the back. It's all about. You want to look at it?
Well, no, I was gonna see. I think I pulled out the bottle once.
I think it has like a McLaren stripe on it or something.
Yeah, so it's like the classic square Tennessee Jack Daniels bottle, but it has
Jack Daniels sponsor us.
a really cool McLaren, style label. I'm sure it's delicious, and I'm not in a dry lifestyle, so I'll have it for all of us at a later point.
At some point,
in
I'll have
time.
it. Just not right now. I'm not in the mood.
But yeah, so that was gift number 1.
Yes.
Since F1 has become our entire personality, this is all our family gifts us now.
And I'm really okay with that. The next 2.
These are Emma's.
Okay.
I'll let you take it over.
So, Mary Catherine's birthday is December 23rd, and we're a big Barnes & Noble family. We're a big book family. We always have been. Barnes & Noble is our happy place. Also found out that it's not Barnes & Nobles. We've always called it Barnes & Nobles with an S on the end.
Yeah, and I will continue to call it Barnes & Nobles.
Apparently it's not with an S on the end, but I don't really care. And so I went to Barnes & Noble with my dad on December 23rd to try to get Mary Catherine a Christmas present. He was getting a Christmas present. I just gave her a card. Sorry. And my dad was like, let's get her an F1 book. And I can't remember what book we got you, to be honest.
I can't remember.
Oh, it was like a historical thing it was a history of cars.
I have to go look and see. I gotta find it from Dad.
Yeah.
Anyways.
All of Mary Catherine's gifts are hidden, apparently.
I just haven't unpacked them, and yes, I know it's February 1st, but we're gonna move past it. Have I taken down the Christmas tree? Yes. We're not at that point, but, I just need to unpack a bunch of things still.
Anyways, so I had originally suggested that he get the Gunther Steiner book, and then he was like, I don't know about that one, and then we chose a different one for her, and then he was like, here, grab the Gunther book, that's going to be in your stocking, and I was like, I guess I'm getting Gunther's book in my stocking. So I have Surviving to Drive by Gunther Steiner. I haven't read it yet, but I'm going to get to it. Oh, there's pictures in it. I've barely taken a look. Oh my gosh, there's so many pictures.
Yeah, a bunch of them, a bunch of them have, what was it? The book I was reading, had a bunch of pictures from the past.
There's a big sticker in the middle.
We're filming.
Anyways,
let's move past this.
Gunther Steiner's book. Haven't read it yet. Plan to. Very excited. In the middle of rereading the Hunger Games series. The next one, this was Mary Catherine and her husband's Christmas gift to me, and I'm very excited about this. They got me Will Buxton's book, Grand Prix, An Illustrated History of Formula One. And it is so cool.
Kudos. It is beautifully done.
Let me see if I can find a good photo. This is kind of like a good example of how,
if you can see that.
If it will focus.
What's the thing that they always do?
If the camera will focus. Let me put my body in front. Wait, that might have focused it.
But anyways.
I don't know. We're looking quite washed out today and we can't fix it. Anyways, cool book. Haven't read this one either. I want to, though.
And to quote the famous F1 driver, Brad Pitt, who needs Google when you have Will Buxton? The most comprehensive, all-encompassing book on F1 to date. A joy to peruse. Brad, I like to peruse this one too. And look, I opened it to our boy, Alberto Ascari.
Oh, no way.
Amazing. Here with us in spirit. Anyways, it's a beautifully done book. It has a lot of really good information. I'm definitely excited to mooch off of Emma and use it for my future research.
There was something else. Oh, speaking of Will Buxton, hold on. Speaking of Will Buxton, he is no longer with F1 TV, and he is now going to be with IndyCar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested to see if he moves to F1 TV like when Hinch does at the end of the IndyCar season. Oh my gosh, that means he's going to be at the IndyCar race that we go to.
Yeah, I was also curious if his family's moving to the US. Like, since everything is US based, unless
That's
he's gonna
true.
travel back from the US to England.
That would be crazy.
In this economy to move to the US. Anyways.
Yeah. But yeah, sadly, Will Buxton will no longer be with F1 TV, but we'll see what happens. We don't know. MC, do you want to show your gift? Do you want me to grab it for you?
Yeah, can you grab it for me? Because I have a microphone in my face. So the last gift that last-ish gift that we were gifted was I was gonna like there's not really a story. It's just my wonderful mother-in-law Diane, Chris's mom, knows about the podcast and that we're big F1 fans. And obviously when you think of Formula One and you think of, teams, you think Ferrari. And so she got us the Ferrari magazine, like the company Ferrari magazine, which is downstairs on my bookshelf. And honestly, I was looking at that the other day, and Carlos's face is so edited because it has like the whole team on the front cover, and I'm like, what did they do to this? Like, who okayed this? But anyways, and so we're gonna like when we travel, we always have to bring podcast stuff in season. It's just like easier and the best and fastest way to get you guys content. And so we now have an official podcast backpack. It is a Ferrari backpack. We will be definitely using it to hold all of our podcast things. I'm sure Emma wants people to ask if she works for Ferrari if they see her.
Oh my gosh, that would be so fun.
You'd be like, no.
I wish.
But yeah, so F1 has fully encompassed our entire lives.
I'm not mad about it either.
And our personalities,
So the last things that we did end up getting, like we said at the beginning, we have a lot of Lego sets of F1 cars.
Small army.
We do actually still want to build one as we're working on the podcast episode. So as we talk about, we're going to go back and forth talking about the rookies. As we go back and forth, when MC's talking, I'm going to be building the car. And when I'm talking, she's going to be building the car. So it's going to be a little bit of teamwork to build this. Let me show you which one it is. It is the Mercedes one.
It's the Lego Technic, so it's not like the super duper fancy ones. It's more of like, I guess, the basic
Yeah, but nobody
model.
knows.
But yeah, now I'm trying to figure out how to hang them. Like we have like a game room up on the second floor, and I was thinking of like Chris can do some cool hanging, and it looks like they're driving up the wall. I don't know.
It would be cool. We could also do like paint almost like a grid.
That's crazy.
Like a track on the wall.
I'm not painting a track on my wall.
Your husband can.
I'm not. No, I don't want a track painted on my wall.
He would love that.
I'm good. Next
I think it would be cool. We paint a track on the wall.
I'm not gonna paint a track. I'm fine with them hanging on the wall, but I'm not gonna paint a track on my wall.
Hear me out. Paint the track on the wall and place them in a way where it looks like they're racing. Come on.
No, I'm good. Anyways, we're gonna build this.
No fun. Yeah, we're gonna build this. We're gonna go back and forth talking about the drivers. And I think that's it.
I'll paint a freaking track on my wall when you paint a track on your wall in your house.
I'll do it.
Okay. On that day, call me.
I don't have a house.
Yeah.
I might be leaving the country.
That's what I'm saying. When you start painting racetracks for Legos on your wall, then
Lego.
Anyways.
Not Legos. Anyways, we're gonna get started. MC's gonna get started. She's gonna be the one who talks first while I build. Hopefully you guys can see me building. I don't know if you can. We'll see how that works.
Well, and for the people that are just listening, just listen to the soothing sound of my voice as you hear Emma clunk around with plastic. All right, so like we said at the beginning of the podcast, we went over all of the wonderful items that family members so wonderfully gifted to us.
We are very thankful. We were not, I'm going to do the classic. We were not trying to brag in any way whatsoever.
Yeah, not about that life. But
Definitely not.
also, you know, Jack Daniels, Lego, Ferrari, other brands. Reach out. Okay, so I'm gonna do 3 rookies. Emma's doing 3. So the first rookie we're gonna go over today, um, I feel like this was probably the most talked about rookie so far. Like out of all the guys, this was the one that like the biggest buzz. So today, well not today, well, we're gonna talk about a lot of people, but the first rookie we're going over is Kimi Antonelli. So Kimi's full name is Andrea Kimi Antonelli, and he was born on August 25th, 2006 in Bologna, Italy. Also, seeing mid 2000s dates,
I was
I
triggered
feel
doing the research.
so old.
I've never felt so old. All of the rookies are babies.
Babies. He's not named after Kimi Räikkönen, as some might assume. His middle name, Kimi, which he mainly goes by, I believe, was just a name given by a family friend. Kimi's dad is a motorsport driver doing a lot of Italian Super Turismo and GT series throughout his career. And his most recent race, his father's most recent race, was the 2024 Italian GT Sprint Championship. His dad runs his own motorsport team named Antonelli Motorsport, so we kind of see where, Kimi's ties to cars and that passion came from. Kimi started racing karts when he was 7 years old, racing for his dad's team, and his first karting title came in 2015 when he was around 9 years old. According to F1, it was during his karting career that Mercedes took an interest and scouted him, and I just sometimes think that that is crazy because with collegiate rowing, you can't be spoken to, at least when we were getting recruited, you couldn't really be spoken to by the coaches according to NCAA rules until like your senior year in person. Like I think you can start emailing with coaches by like your junior year of high school. But like finding out that like this kid was like not even a teenager yet and Mercedes was already scouting him just kind of blows my mind. Like the intensity of just like that on your shoulders for that long, that young. But I guess that's like what makes this sport the sport. Kimi moved on to.
I do wonder if those rules, if like rules will ever be put in place for this though, because like there's a chance that it could just keep getting younger and younger and younger.
No, because look at how like young Lewis was when he was being talked about. Like Lewis was a karting.
That's true.
So like it's been happening forever. Well, not forever, but like it's probably just the way of sports now. Like I feel like it's every sport is feeling that, like just recruiting them when they're in diapers. Kimi moved on to car racing by the time he was 15, competing in Italian F4, ADAC F4, which is like the German league, and then moved on to the Formula Regional European, otherwise known as FRECA, which he won the title in, and the Middle East Regional categories that following year. Typically, in most racing careers, drivers go from F4 to F3, F3 to F2. It like the way the numbers work, it makes sense. Kimi was a special observance in the sense that he went from F4 straight to F2. He skipped F3 entirely. Mercedes was like, "You're going in." Kimi raced with Prema for his F2 season, winning the sprint race, and I think his F2 season was just like literally last season. Like prior to that, he was not in anything. Like or he was in F4, but like his career is significantly shorter than the other two drivers that like I went through, which is why it's so fast, but it's just like his career has skyrocketed so fast. So Kimi raced with Prema for his F2 season, winning the sprint race in Silverstone and winning the main race in Budapest, and that's really it. We did see him in a few practices with Mercedes, including a crash. Toto has been quoted saying that it's like we don't have to build speed in Kimi, we just have to tell him how to slow down. But yeah, so Kimi Antonelli is coming up in the 2025 season as Mercedes' new driver. He's the rookie on the Mercedes team. And there's just been like a lot of talk because like I said, I mean, you'll hear between Emma's drivers and my drivers, there's like significantly more on everyone else. His career is just kind of short, which, you know, maybe Mercedes sees some like really raw natural talent that, you know, we ourselves can't see because we're not Mercedes. But that's Kimi Antonelli, the first of our rookies.
Okay, well, I am going to talk about one of my rookies, and I'm going to hand this off to MC.
What step are you up to?
I am up to step 4. You
Okay.
can reach across me if you need. Most of it's coming from this little bag right here. Okay, so let me get the mic a little bit closer to me. So the first rookie that I'm doing is one that we already know. I think most of us know the names of all of the rookies actually, but this one we have actually seen before in F1. So the first one, which we're considering a rookie because it's his first full season, Liam Lawson. So, Liam Lawson was born February 11th, 2002, in Hastings, New Zealand. He began karting at 7 years old. I believe every single one that I looked at, they all began karting at 7 years old. So,
Like 6 or 7.
if you have a kid and you want them to be in F1, 7 years old, get them karting. He was mentored by Ken Smith, who was a Kiwi driver in a few different series and had won the New Zealand Grand Prix, which is similar to the Macau Grand Prix, where it's not an F1 race, but it's on like the World Series. I don't know exactly. In 2015, he won his first title in the New Zealand Formula Ford Championship. He was the runner up in the 2017 Australian F4. And then in 2018, he was also the runner up in ADAC F4. And then in 2019, Euro Formula Open Championship, he was also the runner up. At least that's what it was saying online. And we know, trust everything that the internet says, correct, guys? In 2019, he did win the Toyota Racing Series with M2. In 2020, he competed in FIA Formula 3 with High Tech GP, and he placed 5th. There were 18 races overall. The way that like a lot of F3 and F2, the way that their seasons work, they have like 6 or 7 actual race weekends where they have 3 or so races. So there were 18 races in total amongst all of those. He did win 3 of them. He got second once and he got third twice, and so he placed overall in 5th place. In 2021, he competed in the FIA Formula 2 championship with High Tech GP, and he placed 8th overall in this. So he got first and third in Bahrain, and then he got first, but then he got a technical disqualification in Monaco for one of the races in Monaco, and then he got second for one of the races in Saudi Arabia. In 2021, he also competed in DTM for Red Bull AF course alongside Alex Albon, actually. So 2021 was the season where Alex Albon was like kind of driving, kind of not. He was a reserve driver, I believe, at that point. And Liam Lawson finished second overall. So Liam Lawson actually finished above Alex Albon. 2022, he competed in Formula 2 with Carlin and he finished third. So this is something that Red Bull does quite often. After somebody does well, if you're a Red Bull development driver, or you're in their academy or whatever, they typically will take you out of Formula 2 instead of having you go in for a second season, and they will have you do Super Formula. So he went to Super Formula in 2023 with Mugen, I think the name of the team was, and he finished second. He also, there's a chance that he might have won Super Formula, I believe, if he hadn't had to replace Daniel Ricciardo for a couple of races. So as we know, in 2023, he had to replace Daniel Ricciardo starting in the Netherlands for AlphaTauri, and he completed in 5 races. Competed in 5 races. He did score his maiden points in Singapore when he placed ninth. Um, and then in 2024, he did replace Daniel Ricciardo full time, a um, Racing Bull. Oh my gosh, he replaced Daniel Ricciardo full time now as a Racing Bulls driver at the USGP, so COTA. Um, and he actually is going to be replacing Checo. So this is what happened after the season ended. So I don't think we technically knew this when we had our last episode. Liam Lawson will be Max Verstappen's teammate on Red Bull Racing. They dropped Checo Perez, I guess, at the very end of the season,
Oh yeah, that happened. Sorry. Yeah.
unfortunately. Sadly for Checo. He has been he has been a Red Bull Junior since 2019, so he's been with them for quite some time now. And this was just a fun fact for some reason that was on one of the pages I was looking at. Fun fact: his parents had to sell their house to fund his career. So he's another one of those. Like Esteban Ocon's family had to do the same thing. Yeah, I think he's the only one of the guys that I've researched that had an experience like that. Like the other two rookies that I looked at had a bit more, I would say, of like a typical experience for a modern day driver, which is more like you grow up within the environment or you have a well off family, so they don't have to worry necessarily. So that is everything about Liam Lawson. I think MC is going to get started with the next driver.
Just so Emma knows, I'm on step 12, and it's a mixture.
How did you move so fast?
Because I'm a freaking wizard.
Oh my goodness.
I haven't done Legos in so long, and that just scratched such a part of my brain.
I'm really enjoying this. I really want to go buy an entire Lego set. This is sidebar. I found out that apparently Denmark is threatening to stop our Lego supply in the US if we invade Greenland. So buy Legos now if you like them.
Okay, so the next rookie, which again is another one that it's like, is he deemed a rookie? But the next rookie we're going over, you'll recognize this name, is Ollie Bearman. So first off, I just want to commend Ollie and his team. 10 out of 10 love your website. It was so helpful, so insightful, just all around awesome. Check it out. Literally Google Ollie Bearman, and then he has a website and has a cool little mascot, and just obsessed. But anyways, also didn't know he was 6'2". That was on the website too. Love that information. Okay, so Ollie was born Oliver James Bearman on May 8th, 2005 in London. There wasn't much online about how Ollie got into karting. His dad is the CEO of an insurance company that he founded when he was like 18, and now it's like a global, I don't know, it had brokerage stuff, and it seems very technical. Ollie started racing karts when he was 6, so around that 6-7 age that Emma kind of talked about, and he found success. In 2017, he won the Karts Masters British Grand Prix, and then continued karting up until 2020. Ollie moved up into Formula 4 Series in 2020, racing in ADAC F4, that German F4 series, with US Racing. Not US as in United States, US Racing is a German team. He was also doing a bit of racing in Italian Formula 4, which is something I noticed in the Formula 4 series. It seems like some of them will do like part-time races and like the Italy series or the German series, and they'll be in like British F4. But it just seems like they're just trying to really just get track time is the vibe I was really like getting. But if anyone knows why they're always part-time, let us know. 2021 saw Ollie still in Formula 4, but he switched teams, joining Van Amersfoort Racing. This was honestly an incredible season for Ollie, seeing him become the first ever driver to win both Italian and German F4. Additionally, this season, Ollie joined the Ferrari Drivers Academy. Honestly, I need to do a bit more research. I just don't know that much about the drivers' academies, what they really provide. Like, I know Emma knows a bit more, but like I would just love to like really see the fleshed out like aspect of their like I would also just love to know if it's like a bachelor type situation where they pump out a lot of people but have little success, or if they like do have success with their drivers academies. But that's for another episode. 2022, Ollie moved up to F3 racing for Prema, and he was on the podium 8 times and took a win at Spa that season. He was 7 points shy of winning this series, but ultimately placed third. In 2023, Ollie moved up yet again to F2, racing with Prema again. He continued to have success, placing on the podium 7 times and winning 4 times. Additionally, F1 fans saw Ollie in a car for the first time participating in one of the practice sessions during the Mexican GP for Haas that year. In 2024, it was announced, ironically, that Ollie Behrman would be teammates in F2 that year with Kimi, racing with Prema. So, both drivers coming up into the F1 season at the same time, I thought was just like a little ironic. A lot of us know Ollie from this point in his career in last season, the 2024 F2 season, because of Carlos Sainz's appendicitis. We saw Ollie debut in a Ferrari at the Saudi Arabian GP and even managed to score points. We saw Ollie yet again in last F1 season when he replaced K-Mag in a Haas for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and again when Kevin was out sick for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Going into his F2 season, with all of this craziness, Ollie unfortunately had one of his weaker seasons throughout his career last year in F2 and placed 12th overall. You know, whether that's because he was on standby for certain teams, just, you know,
When he raced in, what was it, Saudi Arabia, when he replaced Carlos, he had gotten pole for his F2
Yeah.
race. And so that's like a whole bunch of points that he ended up not really getting.
well, a whole bunch of points he missed because he was in the F1 races.
Exactly.
So, I'm actually really excited to keep my eyes on Ollie. I think he's shown like a really strong amount of success. He's one of those people that, you know, I just hope stays as enjoying as it seems, you know. But yeah, so Ollie will be joining Haas for the 2025 season. He is another rookie. So, doing good there,
I got stuck at one point because didn't really pay attention to what pieces I needed. And then I got a little confused. Good thing we didn't do this drunk, or else I would have been really confused. I think I've left this off correctly for you at step 16. So Mary Catherine got a total of 8 steps in one turn, and I got a total of 4 again.
Yeah, but I feel like you have like a bit more detail in your research. So I don't know.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Here you go.
Thanks.
Okay. Next driver for me is Isaac Hadjar. So we've seen him before because we've seen all these guys before. But he was in some FP1 sessions, which I will get into. So he was born September 28th, 2004 in Paris to an Algerian family. He will race under the French flag. I think it would have been really cool if he had raced under the Algerian flag, because I don't know how often we technically have drivers racing underneath a flag from a country in Africa.
Was it explained why he chose France?
I think he's always raced under French because he was born in France.
Yeah.
But I know that like you have the option to not race underneath where you're actually born or reside, like Alex Albon, how he races underneath the Thai flag. But he debuted in sports car racing at the Ginetta Junior Winter Series. whatever that is. In 2019, he was in the F4 Championship, and he ended up placing sixth overall. He got one pole position and a second in that junior category. He won the Winfield Trophy at the Paul Ricard Circuit at 14 years old, though. Which I believe is a prestigious trophy. But the Paul Ricard circuit we all know is the what is it, the French circuit, I believe it is. In 2020, he raced in French F4 and he placed third with the FFSA Academy. So, from what I could tell, that is basically like a French drivers academy, so that they have pledged to basically get another French world champion. In 2021, he did race in Freca and he achieved multiple victories and finished fifth in his rookie season. In 2022, he raced in Formula Regional Asian and he placed third. And then he also raced in the F3 Championship, which he won 3 races with High Tech. In 2022, he got noticed by Sergio Perez and Helmut Marko, and he was offered to join the Red Bull Junior team. He obviously accepted, and they helped to support him in his next journey, which was in 2023 when he joined F2. He did not have the most successful season. He placed 14th overall that year, but it was his first year of being in F2, and oftentimes we see drivers not crazy successful in their first season of F2. It's very rare for people to be super successful in their first season. In 2023, October, he did participate in an FP1 session in Mexico in an AlphaTauri. And then he also did participate in an FP1 session in Abu Dhabi that year in 2023 in Max's car. In 2024, he raced in F2 again with Campos Racing. So he switched teams, I believe. And he actually finished second. So this was this past year's championship. And I don't know if any of you guys remember from Monaco last year, but there was that quick reaction in the tunnel. That was him. He was the one who had that quick reaction. So I'm actually quite excited to see him race. I think it's going to be a good season. And he, in 2024, he did participate in another FP1 session in Max's car in Silverstone, and it was announced that he will be racing with Yuki at Racing Bulls this season, in 2025. So these are just some fun facts. He initially grew fond of motorsport after watching the Pixar movie Cars. Which doing these notes after also writing about Liam Lawson. I know that Liam Lawson always does jokes about Lightning McQueen, so that brought me a lot of joy. And also knowing that he was born in 2004, we have cousins that were born in 2004. Like, Cars was the shit for the kids growing up that age. It everybody loved it. So it makes sense. His family are physicians and physicists, so he comes from a very smart family. And his dad is also a kart mechanic, so not too strange. I feel like a lot of the dads are kart mechanics. And he was nicknamed by, I believe it was a French newspaper, Le Petit Prost. So, Little Prost. So, that is everything about Isaac Hadjar. So now I'm going to let MC get to her next driver.
Let me just finish this one part. I messed up. I put the sticker on backwards. Now I have this little...
Shameful.
I have this little freaking thing. There we go. Sorry. I couldn't get it. Legos is stressing me out. Right. Hold on. Just need.
So, in the silence, MC, why don't you just give that to me?
Yeah. I'm giving it to Emma. There we go. We're moving on. Okay, I just put the sticker on this one, so you gotta put this
Okay.
piece, and yeah, I believe in you. You'll figure it out. You're smart. Okay, so my last rookie is none other than Jack Doohan. So, for those that watch F1 TV like us, you'll recognize Jack from all of the little pundit side projects that he's been on. But here's some information about his career. So, Jack was born on January 20th, 2003, so a little bit older than the rest. Doesn't make me feel as old, in Gold Coast, Australia. For those that don't know, Jack's dad is Mick Doohan, who is a 5 times world champion in MotoGP. So, Jack grew up around the world of speed and racing all over the world. At least, like, seeing his father do that. Jack entered into the competitive karting field in 2012, and he would continue to kart for a few years, winning the Australian Karting Championship and then placing 6th in Karting World Championships in the Karting World Championship. In 2018, Doohan moved on from karting and entered into F4. Looking at his career, it also looks like he joined the Red Bull Juniors program at this point. He would enter into British F4, placing 5th that season. And he also, like I said earlier, with Ollie and Kimi, Jack also did some races for the Italian and German F4 series. In 2019, Jack moved up to the F3 Asian Championship, and that season, the races, I'm not sure if it changes. I didn't do enough research on the F3 Asian Championship. But the races that year were held in Malaysia, Thailand, Japan, and China. Jack ended up placing 2nd in this series. 2020 saw Jack move from the F3 Asian Championship into the FIA F3 and driving for HWA Race Lab. This was a really rough season for Jack. I don't think he scored any points, and I think he just had like a lot of difficulty and trouble with the cars, and yeah. 2020, he was still in F3, but he moved teams racing for Trident, and his team would win the Constructors' Championship that year. So, a much better fit, a lot more successful, and yeah, I just think, sometimes, like we've seen with drivers, sometimes you just need to switch the team. It's not the driver, it's just the vibes. At the end of 2021 F3 racing season, Jack raced, or at the end of the 2021 F2 season, because it was longer than F3, Jack raced in the final 2 events of F2 for MP Racing. 2022, Jack would move up full time to F2, racing for Virtuosi Racing. Additionally, around this time between 2021 and 2022, Jack left the Red Bull Junior Academy and moved over to Alpine's Academy, which is also why I want to know, like, what do they do? How different are they? Like, stuff like that. That season in 2022 in F2, he would end up 6th for the championship with 3 wins that season. In 2023, he continued with Virtuosi and was able to place 3rd in the championship with another 3 wins that season. At the end, or during, I'm not really sure, it wasn't really confirmed, he was announced as a reserve driver for Alpine. Jack would go on to leave F2 at the end of the 2023 season. In 2024, everything kind of said that Jack was focusing on being the reserve driver for Alpine, doing a lot of simulation work, and occasionally doing pundit work on F1 TV, like I said earlier. After much deliberation between, Esteban's leaving the team and everything, it was announced pretty close to the end of the season that Jack would be entering Alpine as their 2025 rookie. Some drama, which, I don't know if I can really even deem it drama, or if it's just the fact that there is nothing going on and the media is tired and they need to, create headlines before the season. But it was just confirmed that Franco Colapinto is now a reserve driver for Alpine. And there are a lot of rumors circulating, especially with the leadership that they have in Alpine right now and the way they've made moves in the past. There is a lot of fear that Jack will be very quickly replaced. I would really hope that, because this is a driver who has literally gotten compared to the other two drivers that I spoke about today, like Jack has the least amount of track time, it feels like, in an F1 car. So, I really hope they give him the chance and don't do something shady merely for Franco. And listen, I love Franco too as a driver, but I think
Yeah, that did happen. We didn't tell you guys about that either.
Oh yeah. But I think that just like
We'll finish. Franco is the Alpine reserve driver.
that's what I said.
You didn't say that.
Yeah, I said that like 2 minutes ago. I said it was confirmed that Franco is a reserve. You're so focused on Legos. But yeah, so those are my 3 rookies.
Okay. I'm left off at step 25, and I'm struggling to get something on. So you'll have to figure that out yourself. Okay. My last rookie is Gabriel Bortoleto. So we've known for quite some time that Gabriel was going to be the second Sauber driver. I feel like they announced it a little bit towards the end of the season. Like, we did go into or did they say it after? Actually, they might have said it. I can't remember. Well, Gabriel is going to have the second Sauber seat. So
it was like so casually dropped, because I think it was like announced at the same time that the Esteban leaving Alpine departure was announced. And yeah, I think just unfortunately some of the rookies announcements like got really overshadowed by like other drama.
Yeah. Okay, so Gabriel Bortoleto's full name is Gabriel Lorenzo Bortoleto Oliveira. He was born October 14th, 2004 in Sao Paulo, Brazil. He began competitive kart racing at 7 years old, so typical age. And he's actually been the protege of 2-time world champion Fernando Alonso. Love that man. In karting, he won multiple national titles. He made his single-seater debut in 2020 in Italian F4, achieving 5th place overall. I will say, to be honest, as I was doing all these notes, seeing that their first, single-seater debut was only in, 2020 for a lot of these guys, I was like, you're feeling even younger to me right now than I expected, because I expected their first debut in single seater to be, I don't know, 2018. 2020 feels really.
When did Drive to Survive debut?
2018 or 2019.
Yeah.
So, also, if you hear growling for some reason in the background, you shouldn't, because our mics shouldn't allow that. But if you do, that is my dog. Don't really know why he's crying or growling or whatever the heck he's doing, but ignore it if you do hear it. Anyways, back to our regularly scheduled content. So, like I said, he made his debut in Italian F4, achieving 5th place overall. In 2021 and 2022, he raced in Freca. He got 15th in 2021 and then 6th in 2022. In September of 2022, he participated in the F3 postseason test at Jerez with Trident. Shortly after, it was announced that he would drive with Trident in the 2023 F3 season. In 2023, he won the F3 championship. So his first season with F3, he won it. And then in 2023 and 2024, he was actually made a McLaren development. He was part of the McLaren Development Driver Academy. So they're just Driver Academy. And then in 2024, he raced in F2 with Invicta Virtuoso Racing. This is actually just an interesting thing. In Monza, he qualified last because he spun out. During the feature race, he actually benefited from a safety car and was able to drive from last to first place, winning the race. And that also allowed him to win the Mechachrome Outstanding Win Award. He became the first driver to win from last on the grid in Formula 2. And then because of that and other wins throughout the season, he actually won the Formula 2 championship. He's the fourth driver to win the F3 and F2 championship titles in consecutive years. The other drivers are Charles Leclerc, George Russell, and Oscar Piastri. So I think I think it's pretty safe to say, hopefully, fingers crossed, I don't want to jinx him, but I think I think people are probably expecting some very good things from him, uh, except for the fact that his car will likely be trash. I'm so sorry to tell you that, but it is. Max Verstappen and Oscar Piastri actually voiced support for him to get a seat in F1. Oscar explained the difficulty of not having a seat right after winning the F2 championship, because at that point there's nothing you can do. And so you just kind of have to wait, and it makes it a lot harder for the drivers to actually eventually even get a seat, as we've seen with some drivers like Felipe Drugovich and stuff like that. Um, and then November 6th, 2024, it was announced he would take the second Sauber seat along with Nico Hulkenberg. And it is known right now that his contract is through 2026 at the very least. So he will be around for the next 2 seasons. Contract based, at least. Doesn't mean that they won't break the contract, because it's happened before. So you never know. Contract means nothing, apparently. And then here's a fun fact about his family. His dad serves as CEO and co-owner of the Stock Car Pro Series in Brazil. And his dad also founded the largest internet service provider in Brazil. So
What, like Google or like
it's something
service
else.
provider?
I think it's more like Verizon,
Verizon?
and like Go like how we have like our internets through Google.
Cool.
Yeah. So that is everything about Gabriel Bortoleto. Apparently, I think it said online that his friends call him BB. I don't know if we'll start seeing that at all.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe some nicknames are just meant for friends.
I agree, but we shall see. And that is everything on our rookies. So we are going to take a hot second, finish building this car, and then come back to close this out so we can show you guys our car.
Yeah. I don't want to say we failed per se, but
We didn't fail.
We're
we
pausing. We're pausing.
I'm a little hungry.
Yeah, I was gonna say I gotta cook dinner.
It's 5:21. That is my dinner time.
We've been filming.
I go to
for
bed
2
in like another
hours.
hour. We've been filming for quite some time. And I honestly underestimated the length it would take to actually build the car. I haven't built a Lego set in probably 20 years.
But we're getting the assembly.
Yes, don't drop
it's starting to look. I've already dropped it twice.
MC's
It's
dropped it so many
starting to
times.
look like a car. Like, we already built the front wing. We're there. For those that
We're like
can't see it,
engineers. We're
we're
mechanics.
basically Adrian Newey.
Yeah.
But
We'll show the finished product at the beginning of the next episode if you're very interested in seeing it. And we'll also post
maybe
about
we'll
it on our
post about
Instagram
yeah,
as
I was
well.
gonna say we'll just add it to our story.
Yeah, we will. Anyways, we hope you enjoy this episode. We know that it's been quite some time, but we plan on putting out a few more episodes before the season actually starts, and we hope you'll listen to those as well. Please make sure to follow us on our Instagram, subscribe on our YouTube. I'm not even going to attempt with TikTok anymore because I don't think it's here to stay.
I also just wanted to make mention of the fact that this is a safe space for everyone. We are for all human rights. It is really difficult in the United States right now as a young person, as a young woman. And, you know, we are very, very, very aware of everything that's going on and trying to be active in our own community. So I hope that this can continue to be a safe space for everyone. We don't tolerate anything short of that. So, we just want to let you know that we hope that you can continue to use us as escapism during this really difficult time in the country. And yeah, we
We do hope that a
really,
lot of you stand for similar values because we started this podcast to talk about history and learning about everything, learning about different things. And we would imagine that if you enjoy history, you probably also enjoy learning through education and whatnot. So,
and I think what we've learned through the history of this podcast is that it doesn't matter what age you are, what color of your skin, even what gender you are. Anyone can do anything if they set their mind to it, and we've seen some incredible drivers in the past, in the present, and I can't wait to see the future drivers. So
yes.
let's continue to make this a diverse space. Let's continue to make this an LGBTQ friendly space, and
Yes.
let's continue to make it a woman fueled space, because we need more, we need more people. We need more diversity. It's not just a man's sport, a man of privilege anymore. It's very expensive, but yeah, we want you to know that we're aware, and we're filming this with heavy hearts, but we're trying to distract ourselves because there's only so much we can do. But not to end it on a sad note, we just want to let you know
No,
that
that's still important to mention.
this season, hopefully we can take a step back from all the bullshittery.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, like I said, make sure to like, subscribe, follow us on all of the places if possible. And I'm gonna try to post to YouTube Shorts a bit more often in case you're interested in that. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything.
Yeah.
All right, bye guys.
Bye.